Let's go across to Dr. Shashi Tharoor. उनको गुस्सा क्यों आता है? Shashi Tharoor, you seem very angry over the cricket match schedule. Now, we can't give every city in the country a match. Thiruvananthapuram, your constituency, let's be honest, is not a leading cricket center in the country. So why are you so upset?
First of all, it is a new stadium which has been very highly praised. The national games were hosted there a few years ago, and Sachin Tendulkar, sitting next to me, said to me, this has to be one of the best stadiums in India. In fact, he called it the best then, but some more have been built since, including Ahmedabad and Ranchi, so I can't complain. The fact still is, it is one of the best stadiums in the country. It's got excellent drainage. There was one day match that was allocated to Trivandrum on a day when it rained cats and dogs, but they were still able to have a rain-shortened match because the drainage was so good. So the fact is there are lots of good things going for it. And equally important, Kerala has become cricket mad only in the last generation or so, with the advent of stars like Srishant and Sanju Samson and others coming up. And it's a great thing for BCCI to encourage sport in parts of the country where it wasn't so deeply entrenched. Which is why places like Thiruvananthapuram or Cuttack or Guwahati, or for that matter Ranchi and Raipur, have been given matches in recent years of international against international teams. The question is, why was it that we allowed ourselves to be confined to just 10 venues? There are 45 matches going on in the tournament. There are only 10 venues, and some have got 5 matches per venue, which seems to me an absolute extravagance. They could easily have spread this around, and instead of 5 matches per venue, if 3 more venues had been added, and they'd all had 3 matches each, everyone would have been happy. I don't see why it would have been so difficult for us to do that.
You know what the BCCI claims, Dr. Tharoor, is that they are trying to ensure that the teams don't have to travel from one end of the country to another, from Thiruvananthapuram to Dharamsala, for example. Do you feel, though, that BJP, is your real objection that BJP-ruled states, Gujarat and Ahmedabad in particular, have got all the creamy matches? Is that the real issue, that you feel that the matches should have been more evenly distributed across all states?
Look, first of all, on the travel business, remember at any one match, it's only 2 teams traveling. So all the logistics arguments I find very weak. 2 teams can travel. It's not as if you're carting the entire tournament off from one venue to the next. Secondly, and that goes for hotel rooms and everything else as well. As far as security is concerned, every state has its own security arrangement, so that too is not a good argument. I think ultimately, what has happened is that those who wield outsized influence on the board undoubtedly have been able to secure results for themselves. That's the way our country works. I'm not entirely surprised. But if you look at the fact that Ahmedabad, since you mention it, has both the first match of the tournament and the last match, the opening and the final, and has the 2 marquee games, both Australia, England, and India, Pakistan, the 2 biggest games of the tournament, that suggests to me that this can't have been a mere coincidence. It didn't happen with a drawing of lots. It's happened because, obviously, some places wield greater influence than others. So it's a lament on my part. I recognize that that's the way our country functions. I'm not going to sit around here trying to change the impossible. But I am saying that I think it would have been good, even politically good for all concerned, to spread the joy a little more widely around every single corner of the country. And certainly Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai have games, but none of those is anywhere close to the Deep South, which has been left out. And Thiruvananthapuram would have been a worthy recipient of BCCI largesse.
But let's be honest, Dr. Tharoor, Jai Shah is the BCCI secretary. Gujarat has the largest stadium. Ahmedabad has the largest stadium in the country at the moment. When Sharad Pawar was ICC chief, Mumbai got the 2011 final during Jagmohan Dalmia's time. Kolkata was the cricket capital. Now it's Jai Shah who's made Ahmedabad the cricket capital. That's the reality.
I recognize that's the way it goes. That's the way our country is. I'm not quarreling with that. And also, Ahmedabad is not just the biggest stadium in India. It's the biggest stadium in the world. Fitting place for a final. But they didn't have to hog all the goodies. That's the point.
You know, Dr. Tharoor, I just wonder whether you've ever thought of getting into cricket administration. You're a politician who loves cricket. So have you ever thought of getting into cricket administration?
Oh, it's much more political. In fact, at some point, some people from within Kerala cricket had invited me to get involved, whereupon the then reigning lord of Kerala cricket amended the constitution of the Kerala Cricket Association to ensure that nobody who had not been involved in the district administrations for at least 10 years was eligible for any position in the KCA. That put paid to any cricketing administration on my part. I think I might have enjoyed it and done a good job, but alas, that was not to be, because that's the way vested interests work always in our situation.
One final question, Dr. Tharoor. You've been a great advocate of India-Pakistan cricket. You even wrote a book on it. Would you like, therefore, to see Pakistan play India and India tour Pakistan, not just during World Cups? Because this is now going to be the next big controversy. Will Pakistan actually eventually come to India? Do you believe the two countries should simply play in each other's countries more often?
Absolutely. I mean, it seems to be bizarre that we have bilateral tours and tournaments taking place in both football and hockey. And I think Indians and Pakistanis have played each other in some other sports. It's squash, I think, not too long ago. But we don't play each other in cricket alone. Why is cricket meant to bear the burden that nobody else has to? We haven't broken off diplomatic relations with Pakistan. We still have relations with them. We still cooperate with them in other domains. Yes, I mean, things are not totally normal. But cricket is something which actually unites people. It might actually discourage the worst. So I'd like to think that we should be able to restore normal relations. But I will say one thing, Rajdeep. This is an area in sport where the decision is going to be political. That it is only when the political authorities have decided to permit such a gesture as a political signal to the other side that it will actually happen. Cricket never precedes politics. It's not that because we're playing such great cricket together, the politicians will thaw. It has to be the other way around. And therefore, I'm urging the politicians, when I answer your question, to try and handle this somewhat differently.
Dr. Tharoor, as always, a pleasure talking to you. I hope that Thiruvananthapuram still gets a match. Maybe still too late. Somebody out there, Jai Shah, are you listening to Shashi Tharoor? How about giving matches across the country? You don't need 5 matches in one city during a World Cup.